The Ministry of Transport held its first meeting with bus operators since the appointment of Dr. Zabaneh as Minister of Transport and Chester Williams as Chief Executive Officer. The meeting held in Belmopan focused on the top priority of modernizing the bus sector. Bus operators from across the country gathered to discuss their concerns and share ideas on how to improve and update the industry. The new leadership is keen on working collaboratively to bring about positive changes.
Well, I think what we discuss here is related to learning from our experience over the past 40 years, if you will, where, if you recall, in the early 2000s, there was a consolidation of the industry, ending up with one company, Novello. But what happened there is that there was no legislation to protect the company, and so a subsequent administration ended up issuing permits that then that company started to get competition, and it eroded the economies of scale that was behind that concept. So now we've learned from that. It's now 2025, not 2000, and we still have a bus industry where you have buses breaking down, you have buses that are racing with each other, you have very poor service, low reliability, the 9 yards that we know about the sector. And that should not be.
Minister of Transport Dr. Zabaneh and his team have proposed a public-private partnership to establish a single national bus company. This new company would allow bus operators to maintain their ownership while working together to modernize and improve the sector. The proposal aims to streamline operations and enhance the quality of bus services across the country. Bus operators are open to discussing this innovative idea, which could bring significant changes to the transport industry.
If we have all the operators come together, agree, we form a company, we also include the terminals, we have a valuation of the entire sector, we fairly, using an independent auditor, determine their values within the sector. We have the option that they will get to either take that value as shares in the company or a portion of it in the company or get paid out completely. That will be their decision. We have a company that's national now. One company can hire a highly qualified administrative team that's supervised by a board, and that then we are able to take care of many of the issues in that regard. The company gets concessions from the government. You can buy in bulk. A company like that gets its tires, gets its fuel, gets all the inputs that have caused a very high-cost industry to be barely making it, and so they cannot reinvest in their equipment right now.
President of the Belize Bus Association, Thomas Shaw, says he supports the proposal and that his members will have to come to a decision on the matter.
It's just in the preliminary stage, whereas it's our first consultation. We still have to go back to our membership. It sounds good. I support the initiative because I think by forming a company, I think that will eliminate most of the problems and the hurdles that we have been facing throughout the years. Just as I said, as time progresses, whatever has been discussed, I think that it has to be legislated to give operators that assurance that their investment will not go uncounted for, due to the fact that we know from government to government, and the government changes, you find out that they keep changing the goalposts and reinventing other things. The understanding that I got, he'll be visiting each individual individually, and then they will have this company set up. You're going to go into your establishment and see what's the value of your asset, your company. If you want, they value your company at, let's say, $200,000. You don't have to get out of the business if you don't want. They pay you off, of which I think it's not a bad thing, but it's to know if that's going to materialize. Because we know that funds are very, very, very tight at this point in time.
As the discussion on the proposed national bus company are just beginning, there's a clear acknowledgement that commuters expect top-notch service right away. Shaw highlighted that 90% of the sector have upgraded their buses in recent years. However, CEO Chester Williams pointed out that 50% of the industry's buses still operate below the standards set out in their permits. Williams has committed to stronger enforcement to ensure all buses meet the required standards, aiming to provide commuters with the best possible service.
We met last week this week rather, with the Transport Board, and the Deputy Chief was going through the conditions outlined on the road service permit. And as Minister said, if you were to apply the law the way we should, by the time we reach number 6, half the number of buses would not be qualified for renewal. But they have been renewed. And I have directed the CTO, the Chief Transport Officer, that we need to do more in terms of enforcement. And spot checks is one thing that they must do. After having issued the road service permit, the question is, who do follow up to make sure that the conditions that we put behind those permits are being adhered to? The answer is little to nothing is being done. That needs to change. Commuters are paying for our service, and these people have the ability to provide that service. We must ensure that it is provided in the most professional and humane way possible. To see buses on our highways that are dirty, buses where you're seeing the street from the flooring of the bus, buses where if it rains, passengers get wet, it cannot continue.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.